It isn't any secret that in Western society, elder women remain virtually invisible and disempowered. For many of us, as we begin to get older, we feel dismissed, we feel devalued. We're supposed to ward off any of the normal and natural signs of aging. Whiten your teeth, dye your hair, erase those wrinkles, even take hormones so that you can remain eternally young and feminine. For 20 years, Crones Counsel has been enriching the lives of elder women. Instead of embracing the ageist and sexist stereotypes that abound in the culture, we celebrate age. We have created maps, new blueprints for an older age worth living. To do that, we have embraced the archetype of the wise old woman, the crone. Anne Krailkamp and Shauna Adix, our founding mothers, each knew when they encountered the archetype of crone that crone was an idea whose time had come. Shauna had worked at the University of Utah as the director of the Women's Resource Center for many, many years. When she retired, she began to wonder, like many of us do, what's next? Having been acquainted with the archetype of crone, she started asking herself the question, what is crone work? She made a business card that said Shauna Adix, CEO. CEO meant crones empowering ourselves as well as crones empowering others. At the time Shauna retired, Anne Krailkamp was living in Kelly, Wyoming. In July of 1989, Anne was shaken awake in the middle of the night with the image of crone calling her to wake up, it's time, it's time. A week later, she had $50 and a borrowed computer. After a rather startling dream and those few resources, her journal, Crones Chronicles, a journal of conscious aging, was born. This journal reached 100 women at its first publication as a photocopied letter, and then grew to an 80-page quarterly with a full-color cover and a national and international circulation of approximately 15,000. After several more correspondences, the two women met in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and the first gathering was planned. Shauna was then 60 years old, and she pioneered the first event, along with a cadre of women in Salt Lake City. Anne Krailkamp was 46, and she became the primary sponsor of Crones Counsel, using her journal to call the crones to gather.
I would like to say how I think Crones Counsel started. It started around my dining room table. Shauna Adix, Jackie Nichols, and I were having dinner, as we had done many times before, and having conversation. And Shauna said to Jackie and I, "Have you ever read Crones Chronicles? This is a wonderful magazine put out by Anne Krailkamp that lives in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. And she is going to put together a national conference. And I think we should be involved. We would definitely want to go up and meet her and see what it's all about. Would you guys be willing to go up with me on the weekend?" And we set a weekend, and the three of us went to Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and met Anne Krailkamp, who was intelligent, delightful. We spent many hours with Anne, and she talked all about what she wanted to do to bring about a national conference.
So I got inducted into that committee by Shauna Adix because of her powerful leadership, and I must say I didn't even know what a crone was. And so for me, this was really a new experience to think about the journey of women and the aging and what this all meant. So I was excited, and I've always loved over women and the wisdom that I was looking for, and to have some support on that journey myself.
When I first met Shauna, and I had heard about her before, but I didn't really know her, and I walked in fertile ground and said my name for some reason, and she goes, "Oh, you're Candy, we've been looking for you." And it was like, wow, okay. So she invited me over to her house where the first council was meeting. And then when I knew who they were, I was real intimidated, because it was like, these were people that everybody knew, and, what am I doing here? And it was just so relaxed, and the women were, this sounds terrible, but they were like people. They weren't these big people that were up on pedestals, and they were so empowering for me. It gave me so much confidence.
I got involved. Shauna asked me to really take the intentions of the conference and of what we were trying to accomplish. And I talk about making it matter, bringing it into form, bringing it down, so that the design we can make this happen. So that was my part in the first conference. So the design was about moving away from a hierarchy into a circle where it's equal, and also about the idea of no experts. And so all of the expertise comes from the group. We don't have any outside speakers or any kind of hierarchy that way. So with that in mind, I began to design it. And there are some rituals that we put in there back then that still, after 20 years, still go on today. One of them was the idea of a standing ovation. That if a woman wants a standing ovation, all you have to do is ask, and that's the key, that we don't often ask for what we want. So, and at any time during the meeting, you can say, I want a standing ovation, and what will happen is you stand up, the whole proceedings stop, and we clap and give you a standing ovation. And it's just the affirmation. But once again, it's the ability to ask for what you need that we often don't do as women. The talking stick, the storytelling, the one person talks at a time, and it's about speaking our truth and sharing our journey, the journey of women on the path. And the stories were so amazing. I get chills when I think about it, because inspirational, painful, joyful, all the things that sharing, learning was. It was just so amazing.
The first croning ceremony had the advantage of being the first croning ceremony because nobody knew what to expect, which at first kind of worried me, but everybody just came in. We had a gate to go through. They were smudged. There was cackling going on, and they all came in to a circle. So when I came in, I was in black. I had my big goddess drum, and I'm beating my drum and cackling and saying, why are you here? You think you're crones and you're old, and you're doing that whole thing. And people just didn't know what to do. And the women there just were like, I think they were a little like awestruck. Then I had to move. I said, no, we need to honor the eldest here. We need to all move, so the older people need to come up front. So they actually had to physically get up and move so that the older people were sitting in the front and the others went towards the back. The croning ceremony included a meditation and a dance by my friend Shoshana, who did a beautiful, in fact, she even says how the dance just kind of went on. It wasn't really what she planned. She did the dance to Kali and to Tara, and it was just awesome. Then we had a meditation, and each woman came up with a candle and shared part of their imagery, the gift that they got from the goddess and the crone. And then we had some drumming, and that was it. And it was wonderful.
So what is crone work? What is Crones Counsel? Well, we ask a lot of questions about our aging selves at Crones Counsel, and we attempt to find the answers.
What is the work of crone? And for me, what I learned in all of this, that the work of crone is to mentor other women on the path. And that was the experience in Jackson for me, to see how this would work, the magic of what it would be like, to have mentors, to have a model to age well. It was, that's the special thing that got captured here, What is our work together as we age? And for me, claiming crone also is the commitment to care about other women on the path, That's claiming Crone for me. That I pledge to use my wisdom in the service of others to renew life. And, hey, if we all did that, it'd be a very different world.
Crones Counsel has changed during the last 20 years, but the structure that was created and conceived at that first gathering in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, remains constant. A structure was created that allowed for discussion, that granted the time and the space for women to talk about the things that really matter in a woman's life. Ramona Adams, Shauna's best friend, asked while planning that first gathering, "After all, we're not dead yet, so what are we going to do with all this extra time we have left?" We spend an afternoon asking women to talk about their experiences with Crones Counsel. Here's what they had to say.
The thing I like about the heart and soul of Crones Counsel is the fact that it has both a heart and soul. And it's the heart that brings me back, and it's the soul that evolves. And so in the 14 times I've been to Crones Counsel, each time both my heart and my soul are enlarged.
The heart and soul of Crones Counsel for me is the gathering. These are my people. And I think that historically we have gathered, that the tribal peoples have gathered, that Crows have gathered. We gather. We have the need to gather, and that's what we do with Crones Counsel.
What is the heart and soul of Crones Counsel? The connectedness of the women. That we, on a deep level, connect with each other, heart to heart and soul to soul. And to me, that's what it's all about. That's why I keep coming back.
For Crones Counsel 1, what I remember most were the powerful women and how awesome it was to have so many women together. And when I left, I wanted to be a crone. It was like, I can't wait to be like them. There were so many role models there and lovely women, and it was like magic.
The heart and soul of Crones Counsel to me is the truthfulness that exists within the council amongst the women and the bonding that takes place due to truthfulness. I think it's only in that safe environment that can occur. And it is such a beautiful thing to behold. And it happened at every council that I ever attended. Truthfulness prevails.
My fondest memories are the connectedness, again, as I said earlier, with women. I remember back Vita, the first Crones Counsel, and I thought she was the most elegant, glamorous woman I had ever seen. As she was talking about the jewelry and everything going through from Lithuania, and over the next 18 years to become a dear friend. And that's an incredibly fond memory to me. Another one was a woman who came one of the years we were at Sillamar, who walked in one of our crone circles and said, "Well, I'm just a housewife from Palm Springs. I don't really have anything to say." And over the next 4 days, I heard a life story that was the most incredible thing I'd ever heard. And more importantly than my hearing it, her 2 daughters that she came with heard it for the first time.
One of the beautiful parts about Crones Counsel is you can get as involved as you want to. I didn't think I'd ever want to do a workshop, but I found myself doing a workshop and enlarging my soul as well as some of the souls around me. And so you can be as involved or not involved as you want. There aren't any do's. There are a whole lot of being.
I go to Crones Counsel and it lifts, first thing, it lifts the weariness, and then it begins to fill me with joy, and I begin to get strong, and then the drumming pounds all of that into me, so I get to keep it all year. Well, most of the year.
Crones Counsel helps me with growing older because I have this incredible collection of role models that show up every year, of strong, vibrant, intelligent women. I come from a family where Alzheimer's is very prevalent. And having a mother who died of Alzheimer's just before council last year was very painful. But I knew that these women were there, and they'll be there this year. And connecting with the women who not only have all of their faculties and are vibrant and alive, but also those of my generation who have walked the path of Alzheimer's with their mothers or other relatives. It is such a positive, reinvigorating thing that it feeds my soul at the most basic level and tells me there are good things ahead.
The beautiful part about Crones Counsel is we don't know where it's going. And that, to me, is one of the wonders of Crones Counsel. We know when we arrive that new things are happening, but we have that old friendship that's also there. And it's like Mary Oliver said, the poet, who said, there are 3 things about getting old that you need to know. One is that you are open to new experiences. You are astonished at new experiences. And this astonishment is one of the beauties of Crones Counsel. We don't know where we're going, but we know we're going with good companions.
What women discover as they journey to Crones Counsel is this: old is beautiful, old is powerful, old is not the end, and old is a good place to be. They actually revel in their elderhood and their journey through elderhood, defying, overthrowing all the sexist and ageist stereotypes in the culture. They accept and put on the mantle of crone, the wise woman, the woman of worth, a woman of power, passion, and purpose.
It feels a need. It's like going to grandma's for Sunday dinner, so that these people know me. They know me. I may never have met the individual, but they know me. They are mine. I belong. It's a belonging.
Crones Counsel is more than a unique gathering of elder women. Once that crone archetype stirs in a woman's psyche, she takes on a new aging identity. In this way, Crones Counsel becomes transformative. Old age becomes a richer landscape, a landscape filled with possibility.
May the love we're sharing spread its wings and fly across the earth and bring new joy to every soul who is alive. May the blessings of your grace, my love, shine on everyone, and may we all see the light within, within, within. May the love we're sharing spread its wings and fly across the earth and bring new joy to every soul who is